G'day viewers, Sepp here. What I thought we'd talk about today is twin cab utes, the ones that are rated to tow 3.5 tonne. And can you really tow 3.5 tonne with a twin cab ute? Well, we're going to find out. First of all, I better tell you a story about Jeb. Jeb and his wife, the Baba Yaga, decides they're going to get in the caravan. So they've seen this ad on TV and it says this ute can tow 3.5 tonne. So they think, you beauty. Jeb says to the Baba Yaga, how much stuff do you reckon we're going to need to fit in this caravan? And the Baba Yaga says, well, everything, including the kitchen sink. I've got to have everything. I've got to have all my clothes for 3 months worth so I don't have to wear the same thing. I've got to have my coffee machine. I've got to have 25 pairs of shoes. I've got to have an aircon that can run at anything over 25 degrees. I've got to have everything. And Jeb says, well, what about the kids? Larry, Mo and Shep. What about the kids? What about the kids? Jesus. And what about the kids? Larry, Mo and Jesus. Jesus. And what about the kids? Larry, Mo and Shemp. What about all their stuff? How are we going to fit that in? And she says, well, we're going to have to. We're going to have to take everything. All their toys, all the stuff since they were born. We're going to have to take everything. Their bikes. And what about Shemp? He's going to want to take his Pee-wee. And Shemp's going to want to take his Pee-wee 50. So Zeb's thinking, Jesus, I better get out there and buy one of those 3.5 tonne caravans. Because we've got the car. We're going to get the car that can tow 3.5 tonne, the twin cab ute. So if I get a 3.5 tonne caravan, we'll be able to fit all that stuff in, you beauty. And then he started to do some research. And then he realised that his twin cab ute that he just bought and spent $80,000 on tricking it all up, you know, all the usual stuff, the bull bar, heavy duty tow bar, the winch, the canopy, the slide out drawers, the 100 kilo drop down fridge, the recovery gear, all the tools, driving lights, big tyres, and then he realises that it ain't going to be able to tow the 3.5 tonne. So he goes and tells the Baba Yaga, we're not going to be able to tow 3.5 tonne, we're not going to be able to take all that stuff. And the Baba Yaga says, but you've seen the ad on TV. It said this car can tow 3.5 tonne. That it must be wrong. You must be wrong. It's got to tow 3.5 tonne. They say that on TV. So, of course, the moral of the story is you've really got to do your homework before you go and purchase your vehicle and your caravan. And anyway, we're going to go through the reasons why a couple of utes in particular I've picked out, just because they're common. I see them all the time towing vehicles. I've picked two out in particular, Ranger and Isuzu D-Max, and we're going to go through a very simple process, a calculation to show that they cannot tow the so-called rated 3.5 tonne. So let's get into it. Okay, so we've got the Ranger over this side. It's an XLT twin cab ute V6 turbo diesel, 2022 model, 4x4. And over this side we've got the Isuzu D-Max twin cab ute, 4x4. It's a 3 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel, and this one's the 2023 model, LSU Plus. So I've only picked those, like I said before, I've picked those ones out because they're the more common ones I see that are towing vans. So very simple calculation to show that they cannot tow this 3.5 tonne that they say they can. So these specs, of course, have come from the specification sheet from the manufacturer. They're not off a website or a car review discussion or anything. They're actual specs. So 2022 model, V6 turbo. GCM, 6,400 kilos, That's the gross combination mass. That's the heaviest that your combination can actual weigh. So you've got your caravan, you've got your car, and you can't exceed that weight. When you hook them together and you go on your trip, you cannot exceed that 6,400 kilos. Then you've got your GVM, gross vehicle mass. So that's referring to your car. Now that's absolutely everything that the car can weigh. Everything that you've bolted on, people in it, the kids, all the gear, all the carrying gear, that's all in there. All the gear you're going to carry, that's all included in the GVM. You cannot exceed that. And I've just thrown in your curb weight of that vehicle, so you've got an idea how much that car weighs. That's not necessary for the calculation. So this is the calculation right here. Very simple thing. So you write down your GVM spec, which is up here, 3,280 kilos. You got your van that you're going to tow, 3,500 kilos or 3.5 tonne. And you add those two together, that gives you 6,780 kilos. Now, GCM, your gross combination mass, can only be 6,400 kilos. So you minus that off from the actual weight, and it gives you 380 kilos. So you're 380 kilos over if you were going to hook up a 3.5 tonne van to this vehicle. And we're making the assumption that the GVM of the vehicle is at its max. So you've got it all loaded up, you've got all your gear on it, you've got your 3 kids in there, you've put the bull bar on, you've got the winch on, you've got the big 35-inch tyres or whatever you get, and you've got the drop down thing at the back, the esky, and you've got the slides, and you've got everything, all the bells and whistles in it, and you're maxed out at 3,280. You cannot tow a 3.5 tonne van. That's it there, pretty simple. So this one, Isuzu D-Max, let's have a look at it. Gross combination mass. Now this one's 6,000 kilos, which is 400 kilos less than the Ranger. Gross vehicle mass on this one is 3,100 kilos. And the curb weight of this one is 2,115 kilos, or a little bit less than this one. And the curb weight also is the vehicle full of oils, full of water, and a full tank of fuel. So gross vehicle mass on this one is 3,100 kilos. You're putting on your 3.5 tonne van so you can fit everything in it. And that comes to 6,600 kilos. Now your GCM is 6,000. So you minus that off that total there, and you get 600 kilos. So if you've hooked up a 3.5 tonne van to this vehicle, you're going to be 600 kilos over your GCM. Now, what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at what actually can tow in this situation. And again, we're assuming that the GVM is maxed out to 3,100 kilos. So, 3,500 kilo trailer. Take your 600 kilos off, so you meet your GCM. That means you can only tow a van of 2,900 kilos in weight. So same with this one, the Ranger, 3,500. If you take off 380 kilos, that means you can only tow a van for 3,120 kilos, not 3.5 tonne. So it's a pretty simple calculation, and you can do this for any vehicle. They'll all have these specifications. Doesn't matter what vehicle you've got, whether it's a twin cab ute or an SUV or whatever, you'll be able to get these figures, do the adds and the subtractions, and then you'll be able to see exactly how much you'd be able to tow if you had your max and GVM. Yeah, so that's it for this one. Hopefully you got something out of it. I'm trying to keep this one short because it is pretty basic, but you just got to do your homework just to make sure you know what your vehicle can tow. It's unfortunate that some people think they watch these things on TV and the ads show that they can tow these amounts, these tonnages, and they really can't in reality, some vehicles. Not all, but some of them. Okay, thanks for watching. Take it easy and see you on the next one.